Baseball is his business. He's been working in the major leagues for 20 seasons. Along the way, he's used his fame to promote video recorders, clothing, and candy bars. He thought enough of Hank Aaron to adopt his number 44. But you can tell this player without a program. He's Reggie Jackson. He'll tell you he's not as quick as he was 20 years ago, but don't be deceived. There's a lot of power in that swing for a man of 41. This is the story of a 41-year-old baseball player who is still pushing himself. But now the weight seems heavier, and it's the memories that muster the adrenaline to lift it. No other active player has hit more home runs. Few have lived at the center of so much controversy. Few bring so much energy to the game.
I'm probably physically as strong as I was when I was a kid, 25 years old or 30 years old.
At spring training, he was still out there, keeping up with the youngsters in wind sprints. But as elder statesman, he uses the moment to urge younger players to greatness. Jackson is in his 40s, and he is still fiercely competitive and proud of what he's achieved.
I'm prouder than hell to be 40. I mean, look at me. I'm 40. I'm neat. And it wasn't as though I felt I was an intellectual giant or was any better than anyone else. But I feel as though I'm special because I've done myself right.
The Yankees paid him $3 million for 5 years of work. Last year, the California Angels paid him $1 million for 1 year of work. He took a salary cut to $600,000 to be in Oakland for this, his last season. Today, the baseball card from his rookie year is going for $75. Can you believe you're worth $75?
I hope I'm worth a whole lot more than $75.
But when you look at that picture and you look at this card, what kind of memories does it bring back?
I was an ugly kid with broken teeth. And, I was young, dumb, and full of energy, full of talent.
There's a long drive. That one is going way up. It is off the roof.
And from his first full season in 1968, Reggie Jackson showed he knew his way around the bases. His resume has been a collage of long fly balls. Before the season, he had 548 home runs, 8 seasons in Oakland, 1 in Baltimore, then 5 in New York. That's where he hit his most famous 5 home runs in the 1977 World Series against the Dodgers. It was these late-in-the-season heroics that tagged him with the nickname Mr. October, and the fans loved it. And his relationship with Yankee manager Billy Martin kept the fires burning. To this day, Jackson resents the time Martin yanked him out of a game and just doesn't like to talk about him.
I had nothing against him, but when I felt as though I was going to be singled out, or he was going to reprimand me, or he was going to show me, I wasn't for any of that. I just didn't want to take any crap from anyone.
That controversy subsided when he signed with the California Angels in 1982. But in the opening game of this season with Oakland, he showed controversy will never really go away. Reggie says the catcher was talking so loud, the ump never heard Reggie call timeout. He was out. The benches cleared. Reggie Jackson is still a hot property for companies that seek his endorsement. He came to Atlanta before the season to promote pony shoes at a local convention. You are very proud of the fact that you're more than a baseball player, that you are a successful businessman.
I took a lot of grief for it, a lot of verbal abuse from teammates, that Reggie exploits himself better than anyone else. He takes care of himself, and he's not into baseball so much. Well, I've got 500 home runs. I didn't hit them all in October, so I must have paid attention sometime during the rest of the season. I was interested in how much money was I going to be able to accumulate while I was playing ball, so that when I stopped playing ball, the world wouldn't ridicule me for not taking advantage of an opportunity I had presented before me.
Jackson thinks that too many blacks are missing opportunities and the hazards are changing. He says he experienced racism while playing in Birmingham in 1967.
A lot of it was kept from me. I know I couldn't find a place to live in Birmingham in 1967. I lived in a hotel. John McNamara, the manager, wouldn't allow the team to eat if I couldn't eat. So there were a lot of times that we ate on the bus as a team. I was very young and didn't understand it, and I was more frightened than bitter.
Now, you do a lot of speaking on affirmative action, so your feelings are very strong. Why do you do that?
I get very offended, very hurt, almost lost in trying to find a solution when I realize that of 80% of all of the athletes that get caught with drugs or get involved with drugs seem to be black. And that hurts me. The reason why is because it's an opportunity for us that is greater than it is for the white. Because the black opportunity to make $300,000, $500,000, $900,000, or $1 million a year is not there in the real world nearly as often as it is for the white. And so I believe that we're hurting ourselves even more. We're not capitalizing and taking advantage of an opportunity that's there for us.
Reggie Jackson goes for control of every situation. In 20 years, he's heard every reporter's question. Here's part of an Arizona TV station's interview at spring training.
Do you think that do you realize you're here in the major leagues more? I mean, is it more of a thing where you relish the fact that you're able to still play and having experienced and done it all?
Yes, you at the age of 40 or at the...
But there are times when I'm brash, still. You know, I know that. It's being brash at times for me is a way of getting some privacy, a way of getting some secrecy, a way of being left alone. If I walk over into the show and I want to be alone or I don't want to be bothered, I easily can project a coarse air around myself, and people won't come up to you. It's a shame that you have to project that air in order to get privacy, but it works. And consequently, a reputation of he's a pain in the ass, or he's tough to get along with. There are times when I want to be tough to get along with, but I don't get taken advantage of. I don't get run over.
Just as quickly as he can turn toughness on, he can turn it off. And he can turn it back on again.
I had a lady in a restaurant. I was eating, and I was late, and I was eating breakfast, and she wanted me to sign her autograph, and I said, no, not right now. And she was a sweet lady. She called me a son of a bitch. And so I just kind of looked at her, and I walked out of there and said, I'm not going to sign the autographs. I didn't sign autographs for 2 years.
Why does it bother you that people feel they can have this intimacy with you and ask you questions that they want to know when you're a public figure? I mean, that comes with the turf, don't you think?
You know, Monica, if I wasn't working today and I wasn't playing baseball, I would never do an interview. Never. I only do an interview in order to exploit. I'm here today because I'm working, but I am enjoying the conversation, you know, because you're a nice person and you're smart and your questions are good and the answers are fun. And I even like hearing myself talk sometimes.
What are you going to do when and if you retire?
Well, I'm going to retire in the end of '87. I'm going to do whatever I feel like. I love the real estate business, and I'm romantically involved with the oil business. I just like it. I love the securities business. I really do enjoy the market, and play it every day. And so I am one of the largest automobile collectors in the country. If I have an opportunity to stay in baseball on an ownership level, I probably will.
Are you investigating that now in terms of ownership?
Right now I'm a baseball player, but I'm in a situation that something may happen. I'm not saying it will, but I am in a good situation for something to possibly happen in the future. If it doesn't happen, Monica, then I will buy season tickets with Oakland. I'll buy season tickets in Anaheim, and I'll go to baseball games.
Reggie has been an outspoken critic of the small number of blacks in baseball management. Officially, the Oakland team says there has been no substantive talks with Jackson about his management opportunities, and there won't be any until after his playing career has finished.